We have a handful of employees that have been helping Medtrics from the Philippines for quite a few years. And today I'm joined by Ericson Fernandez. He's a designer on the team. And this is going to be a fun part of the conversation because you and I haven't had deep conversations about this. But I want to talk about all of you working for a U.S. company. That means a lot of different things. Let's start with the obvious one. You all work pretty much U.S. hours. When I sign on in the morning, you, Mark, Darren, and Lay, they've all been online for several hours. And then I think around noon our time, you guys drop off. But that's not easy. And I think oftentimes people like me forget that. What's that rhythm like for you? What does a normal work day look like for you? When do you start and end your day?
So my work starts at 5 p.m., which isn't the usual schedule most people have. But since I've been with Medtrics for quite some time, it has become my new normal. It allowed me to adjust my routine. I can sleep a bit later than usual, but still I have plenty of time during the day for myself and my family. So working remotely has given me the flexibility to balance my career while also being present at home. And that's something I really value.
Is this the first U.S. company you ever worked for? Was Medtrics? Had you experimented with this type of schedule before?
I did have a past U.S. company already. Medtrics is more generous when it comes to time management because my past work ends at 5 a.m. So it starts at 11. I'm 100% following their time. So Medtrics is very generous to allow us to move a little bit earlier so we don't sacrifice our sleep too much. At the same time, we still can meet with the team.
That makes sense. Yeah, it'd be much more difficult if you were working that 11 to 7 shift.
Yes.
And I think you and I and everyone on the team has kind of figured out it works well, right? When you and I have our daily stand-up meetings, you're almost done for the day, but that means, we still can talk about what needs to be accomplished tomorrow. And then when I sign back on tomorrow, you've already gotten it done. Let's take a step back and talk about why people like you, Mark, Darren, and Lay, why do that? Why pursue work with a U.S.-based company? What are the upsides? What are the trade-offs? I assume there are some opportunities in the Philippines, but why have you gone this path?
Working for a U.S.-based company has been very, very rewarding. One of the biggest advantages is the exposure. I get to collaborate with diverse teams, learn from different perspectives, and work on projects that challenge me to grow professionally. And I also feel that the opportunities are broader compared to what I might have in a local company, whether it's in terms of career development, training, or the chance to connect with an international network. Of course, there are trade-offs. The time zone difference can be a challenge since my work hours don't always align with the usual schedule of the company and my personal life. But over time, I've learned to adjust, and the flexibility of remote work really helps balance it out. So yeah, overall, I feel the rewards definitely outweighs the challenge.
Do you feel like that sentiment is shared? Do you feel like some of you are like, I don't really like this schedule as much? Or do you feel like the four of you are pretty united in that we like this international exposure, we get used to the schedule? How does the team think about it?
I think the four of us will agree that working with Medtrics and a US company is the best opportunity for us because it allows us to reach an international level of experience and understanding. Also, when I say time differences might be a negative factor, but in our case, especially me, I'm working with Medtrics for almost 3 years now, and I think I found the right balance of time professionally and in personal life.
How much of this international story is something that you were very much aware of when you were going to your first classes and getting trained in design? Had you already thought that when I'm ready, I'm probably going to look for a job overseas? Or at the time, were you expecting that you would have plenty of opportunities domestically? When did you first start thinking about going this route?
Initially, I don't have a plan of working abroad. I grabbed the opportunity that opened to me. So it's very good for me, for my experience.
When we talk about this, obviously economics comes into it. Are you making more money than you would likely find in a local opportunity?
Yes, I can attest to that. The salary, it's more okay than the local ones. Plus, I get to stay at home. So that's an extra saving for me compared to if I would be going outside working in a local company.
Myself included, we're all very, very remote. So sometimes you got to tell yourself to get out of the house. But it's a little bit easier for you because you can get out of the house during the day, right?
Yeah.
What's it like for you, though, being so far away? Do you find yourself, and this kind of goes back to the remote question, do you feel yourself being disconnected from the company? Do you feel like the company does what it can to make you feel part of the team?
I don't feel disconnected at all. I feel comfortable in working with the team. Given also that we have daily meetings, we meet the whole team once a week. So there's no disconnect at all. Even way before when Medtrics team is still small, everyone is connected. Like my work is connected to the dev work was connected to the other departments. So there's no disconnect at all.
Are there things that we as a company or even me as an individual don't understand? For instance, your culture is extremely polite. And when I used to work with Mark much more closely, there were many client calls where I knew he was smarter than me, but he wouldn't correct me because your culture is a very polite one. And I would have to coach him, hey, Mark, I want you to fix me when I'm wrong. And I think you and I have gotten that way. I think you've really grown that way. You've learned to push back a little bit. Is there anything that we should know that would make our relationships with Filipino employees stronger?
The one thing comes into my mind is communication. A good communication is really the key to a better relationship. And I believe, and I am already experiencing it with our team and even the whole Medtrics, that we are a good communicators. So whenever someone needed anything, or if you have to like talk about something work related, we have this good tone and polite way of saying everything. So it helps to make myself better if I needed to. And yeah, I think communication really helped me grow as well and to understand the task and the deliverables that I have to deliver.
Do you feel now that you guys have gone on this journey together, does the Filipino team have its own culture? Are there inside jokes where you're making fun of the Americans, or things that you guys discuss that they're like, okay, this is what Medtrics is like, here's what Medtrics in the Philippines is like?
Sometimes we are messaging each other during goals meeting because that's the one meeting that's too long. So sometimes we share stories while waiting for our turn. And actually, sometimes we admire people. For example, I said, Marcus is really good at his work. He's really good at running the marketing team and like something like that. So we see also some people from different departments that we look up to, and that's one of our topics in Iloilo actually, because it was our first time to meet. So it's really fun to like share insights about how Medtrics is working with each other, even though we are overseas. And yeah.